20 minutes before the top of the hour. Let's change gears. President Trump putting Iran on notice as new reports reveal the Pentagon's plans to deploy more aircraft carriers to the Middle East, at least one. The president affirming his support for our strongest ally in the region, Israel, in a meeting with the prime minister yesterday, Netanyahu, where both agreed diplomacy will start, with Tehran remaining uncertain as the U.S. resumes talks with Iran next week. We don't know the details yet. Former ambassador-at-large and counter-terrorist coordinator Nathan Sales joins us now. He served at the State Department during President Trump's first term. Nathan, I sense that yesterday's talks were not only about him joining the Board of Peace, Israel, but it was specific about what their assets were, maybe in Iran, what the protection was, and what a conflict would look like. What do you think?
I think that's right, Brian. I think we saw maybe a little bit of daylight reading between the lines between the prime minister and the president. It seemed like Prime Minister Netanyahu was here to press President Trump. Now's the time. Let's take military action against the regime while it is weak. But I think President Trump is prepared to let diplomacy play out for a little bit here to see if there's a possible negotiated outcome. Time will tell. I think watch and see how Iran responds to the olive branch that President Trump has offered. In the past, they haven't seized the opportunity to pursue peace. They've doubled down on their demands and on regime preservation. So we'll give diplomacy a chance, it seems, but I'm not that optimistic that Iran is actually going to play ball here.
So their president, they had their anniversary of that horrific revolution led by Khomeini in 1979 yesterday, at which time the current president of the country, ceremonial position in many respects, said they were shamed before the people about the crackdown. We're obliged to serve all those we harmed in this process. They killed between 5,000 and 30,000, depending on what report you believe. And now, do you really believe they feel ashamed about killing their own people, including chasing down would-be protesters in their hospital beds?
Yeah, these are crocodile tears, to be sure. The regime has no remorse whatsoever. To the extent that they feel the need to mourn in public, it's only because of their well-honed instinct for self-preservation. But this is a really important point. President Trump drew a red line. He was very clear with the mullahs, do not kill protesters or you will pay a price. And the world will watch to see if President Trump enforces that red line. Let's not forget, Barack Obama never recovered after he drew a red line on chemical weapons use in Syria. The world never had confidence in him again, and I don't think President Trump wants to repeat that same mistake here.
Here's what Israel said after the meeting. What Israel wants from the Iran negotiations: dismantle Iran's nuclear enrichment facilities. By the way, it's not going to happen. Limit on Iran's missile program. That's not going to happen. End of Iranian support for regional militias. That'll never happen. They even had a meeting with Hamas officials yesterday. So it makes me feel as though the president wants that other aircraft carrier in place, but knowing that he follows through on almost everything that he says, I think a conflict's inevitable. And if that is indeed the case, what do you target? Is there anybody you can deal with in Iran that might be somewhat rational, like what we're dealing with now in the rehab process in Venezuela?
That's a great question. Let me take that last part first. The Israelis have so thoroughly penetrated the Iranian regime and their security services and their military services. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if we had some good leads on elements within the Iranian regime who are prepared to play ball in a post-regime scenario. As far as the military option, what do you target? I think a couple of things. You've got to go in first, take out the air defenses so that you have air superiority and can operate. We did that last summer. It's easy to do. The Iranians were naked and exposed. And then you use that opportunity to take out their ballistic missile capabilities, because that's what they will use to hold American assets in the region and our Israeli allies at risk. Destroy their ability to retaliate, take out their air defenses, and then you've got the ability to take out strategic targets, whether that's the instruments of repression, the Basij militia, the IRGC, or if you want to be more ambitious and make a play for regime change, you can take out regime leadership. The president's going to have a lot of options, and we'll see what he does.
And for the people like Elbridge Colby who say at the Pentagon, we got to focus on China, you can't focus on China as long as Iran is operating in the Middle East. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Nathan Sales, thank you. Straight ahead.
Thanks, Brian.
You got it. From Somali daycares to bogus Medicare claims, today Minnesota leaders will be grilled on the billions of dollars in alleged fraud. Jonathan Turley on what we can expect to hear.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.